everybody, you're welcome back to the next edition of the Mariani TV show. I am back here again and we are going to check our wellness. I hope you're doing great wherever you're watching me from. And right now, I want us to do a short activity. Yes, we're going to check on our wellness. Why don't we do this? For everyone watching me, take 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Think of whatever thing you want to think of right now, whatever comes to your mind. Is it how your day is being spent, or what you have to do today, or what you have to do right now? The things you have to achieve, the things that are making you angry, how you think you can come out of this anger. Meditate right now. Take a deep breath. Take your breath out. So, how was it? How was that activity? Just the fact that you did a meditation has got a lot to do with your mental health. Just the fact that you did the meditation is going to boost your spirit to become a better person by that day. Most of the times when I talk about my story, you will hear me mention my grandmother at least 90% of the time, and that is because she played a pivotal role in my life. Like I mentioned in my last video, I was born in Africa, Cameroon to be precise, which is located in the central part of Africa. And I went to school growing up with this mentality of being a journalist. My dream was to become a journalist. I mean, I didn't know about anything that you have to go to school to be a counselor. And the kind of education system that I went through, I didn't have any counselor. I didn't know that you need to have like a counselor. I just knew that advising someone is something that anybody can do. That is how I knew. That is how I grew up seeing counseling, like advice that anyone can give. So when it was time for me to make a decision for the professional career I wanted to follow in my college years or university years, I still had the journalism in my mind. And then my grandmother, who I mentioned earlier has a pivotal role in my life, proposed that I go do English. To her, English could give a good trade path for me to get into the journalism profession, which is actually very, very correct, because the journalism profession deals with the power of language. And I went to do English, and it wasn't easy for me to get into the journalism department of our university. You needed some qualities to achieve some certain qualities to get into that department. So I went and did English. After doing the program in English, going to do masters, I reluctantly, but I did a master's in English again. And there was this discrepancy of me doing education, what I can do, and then we finally succeeded to say, okay, let's definitely do English. And then that advice was taken into action. When I was in my second year doing my master program, I have a schoolmate, a friend. We went to the university together. She was doing anthropology and I was doing English, but we were in the same department. This person told me she was studying guidance and counseling at the Teachers Training College in Cameroon. I was like, she doesn't look like a teacher. She doesn't look like anyone that can do that kind of a course to begin with, because I saw her like someone that didn't even have the patience to be a teacher. She had other talents, like she had other things that she could do. I was like, okay. I didn't know you could go do a guidance and counseling, something like that in school to be a counselor. I just thought counseling is talking to people, advising them. So at that point, I was still looking at doing journalism. When I mentioned to one of my uncles, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of doing guidance and counseling, going to the teachers training university to study guidance and counseling after my master's program. Guess what? My uncle told me, forget it. That's a job for a housewife. Those are things for housewife. Really? Let's see, along the path of this journey, we're going to see if that's actually jobs or that's actually things for housewife. So I got lucky. So there's this thing called a diversity visa lottery. I got lucky to be among those who were chosen for the diversity visa lottery to get into the United States as a permanent resident. And that was about when I was completing my master's studies. So when I moved to the US, I carried along that perception that I want to do counseling. I still had it in mind. I started doing all kinds of research about counseling, what programs I could do. And when I got to the United States, so many people heard about me wanting to do counseling. Some people stayed quiet. They didn't want to tell me what it was or what it is in the United States for obvious reasons at the time. And then I had my uncle who took me to various universities. I spoke with the counseling department. I did some admissions. I didn't get into any university at the time. 2 years later, I still stick on the fact that I want to do counseling. So I realized that we had school counseling and then other programs called it counseling psychology, and then other programs called it clinical mental health, and then other programs called it clinical psychology, which are like linked to each other. And then at that point in time, I had people telling me, oh, why do you want to do counseling? Do you know that when you are a counselor, you may end up getting mad? Most of the counselors, they were talking out of no statistics, like most counselors, or they gave an example of one person that they know, oh, she grew mad, just talking to all these mental health people. It's not easy, you can get crazy as well, or it doesn't pay well, it doesn't have jobs, or you're black, you're this, your accent. Oh, really? So I overlooked all of these because despite the fact that I had all these other comments, I had people who encouraged me positively about these. Until today, I've had everyone encourage me positively because people are getting aware of the need of mental health therapists. Now everyone is like, oh, that's a good field. That's a good field. We need it in our society. And one thing we make a mistake about is, let me quote an example from where I come from. We are really not aware about mental health counseling. We do not have, so far as I know right now, from research I have made, we do not have any educational system that has really focused on training mental health therapists. Back from where I come from, counseling is just getting to them. We're just getting to talk about it, and that is because we have had so many people back here who think that we need it more back home. But I came to realize that here in the Western world, we need more therapists in this field than even back home. We have a lot of people going through so much, going through a lot. Some are not aware that they are going through a lot. Some are not aware that a lot they are going through is what is causing them all the stress, all the trauma, all the sicknesses, and the restlessness. Some people are not aware. Some people do not know that they can go talk to someone like a counselor, like a therapist, like someone who has been trained to help people heal. So let's leave that. On my journey now, I got admitted to this program, and I'm still on the path of completing the program, and which I'm so excited, and I pray all goes well for me. I get to learn a lot. I get to learn that almost 98% of my classmates, my course mates, are going through mental issues. And then I begin to wonder, when we have activities or we have time that people talk about their stories, people come to tell us what they've been through and what made them to decide to do counseling. Nobody mentions that they joined the program because they wanted to impact themselves, to help themselves from their problems and from the issues that they had. But guess what? I just realized that 98% of my classmates who have been through a lot are connecting their a lot to making a decision to become mental health therapists. Yeah. It may not be their major reasons why they decided to become mental health therapists, but I can tell you, just because of what they went through, they made that decision to go through the mental health counseling program. Guess what? We are trying to create awareness. That is what we are doing. The whole world, one or every other person, is going through something that is bringing them down. Either even children go through their own lots. Babies go through their own lots. Just the fact that a baby might have some pains or aches or something and they cannot spit it out, they cannot speak it out, they are going through a lot. So that is how I got to this journey, and I'm still there. I've been wanting to start this awareness program. Guess what? I've been procrastinating. I am a big case myself. I have a lot of PTSD, like I have a lot of post-traumatic issues, a lot of stress. I have a lot going on. I had to speak to a counselor. Like, that was one of the requirements we needed in this program. When we just started, we're assigned to counselors, and you have to have a session like twice a week, once a week. The first time they told me that I had to do this, it looked strange to me. It looked weird. I'm like, am I going to be talking to someone about my issues? Well, it all depends on you. Guess what? I had to learn how to talk to a counselor. So I was the client, and then I had a counselor. I had to tell, and I realized that I started getting relief. I was looking forward to a call every week from my counselor, telling her my problems. I'm like, oh, this person knows nothing about where I come from. Telling her my problems is okay, but I still could not open up all of my issues to her. It was still hard, and that is something we have to learn how to do. If you open up to your counselors, they will be able to help you perfectly well. I couldn't do well to expose myself to my counselor, but guess what? The second time I had a counselor, I spewed out. I was stressed. I was restless. Sometimes the counselor will call, I'm like, I don't feel well. I didn't even want to have that session. But by the time we start talking, and he will be like, okay, we can reschedule for some other time. I have my availabilities on these days. By the time we start doing rescheduling, we start talking, we realize that we are over 30 minutes on that call. I started spilling out, and then we had a session. We all need counseling. Even counselors, even the therapists, they go through a lot more than even most of their clients. We all need counseling. And so throughout this mental health awareness program, we are going to do it together. I will try my best to bring in some professionals who will come and talk with us, to tell us, give us some statistics, give us some experiences, stories. Tell us how it can be diagnosed. Give us the importance, the good and the bad of it. I'm going to be bringing some people who are willing to tell their stories. I mean, we're going to be having a lot, and I pray it all comes to pass. I want to say a big thank you for watching this program right to this end with me. I am so happy, and please do not forget to subscribe, and yes, hit the notification bell. Do not forget. I'm gonna keep reminding all of us to do that, and don't forget to like. I do also have other social media platforms that you can watch from. I'm gonna be posting these videos on. That's just in case you can't get to YouTube for some reason. You can go to TikTok. I'm gonna put the link down there for my TikTok. You can go to Facebook. I'm gonna put the link down there to my Facebook. I wish you all a wonderful and a splendid day. And I'm gonna see you in our next session. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.